Good morning, Internet, and welcome to another fabulous adventure with the International Big Shot. I'm taking another walk this morning here in Ella in Sri Lanka to the Nine Arches Bridge. Actually, it's the Nine Arches Bridge photo point. Not exactly sure what the difference is, but we're going to find out in a little while if the weather holds up. These last couple of days here in Ella have been very good because the weather has been relatively dry during the day, cool and sunny. So it's nice weather. So the bridge, according to Google Maps, is about 2 kilometers from my hotel. And as I'm making this part of the video, it's about another 30 minutes before I get there. I think I talked yesterday morning about how large and filling the breakfast at the hotel is. And this morning was no different. There was so much food. I did not eat again yesterday, and I have a feeling I won't be eating again today. But it was a Sri Lankan breakfast this time. There's a curry, dal, some kind of, it reminded me of rendang from Malaysia, except it really wasn't that, it was dry. There were 3 kinds of bread and an omelet. This walk comes in handy to walk off some of that energy. I don't think many tourists walk to the bridge. I haven't seen anybody except myself walking up the hill. I do see occasionally people walking back down, but they look like they live here. And as you know, of course, I do this mainly for the exercise. I don't really care about the bridge, but it should be interesting. It's a very famous spot. Morning.
Morning.
So it's a good goal to walk to it. And since I don't know anything else about the area except the tourist spots, they offer nice destination points for walks. So you just get there, take some pictures, turn around, and go back. My walks so far in Ella have been short compared to my other ones because, well, first of all, the destinations are closer to where I'm staying. Plus, they also involve a lot of climbing. So I don't feel bad covering 5 or 6 kilometers as opposed to my usual 8 or 10, because I'm getting probably more exercise with the climbing up than I would just walking on flat ground. All of those are tea bushes or tea plants. I'm sure this camera isn't doing this view justice, but it's just a huge valley stretching off into the distance there. And you can just barely see mountains up way, way off. It is kind of misty. I nearly missed the turn. And this one was a similar thing. It wasn't a staircase, it was just a little alley that goes off the main road and heads down into the, looks like it's going down into the valley. It is big time downhill right now. The 2 biggest industries in Sri Lanka, according to some guy on the internet, are tourism and tea. Now, you've probably never heard of Sri Lankan tea. That's because I've usually seen it in the shops, even here, as Ceylon tea. Sri Lanka, as I'm sure my viewers know, used to be called Ceylon. They changed the name of the country, I don't know when. You can look that up. But it's now called Sri Lanka. It used to be called Ceylon. And the tea that comes from here is very famous. And it was originally marketed as Ceylonese tea or Ceylon tea. And when they changed the name of the country, I guess the marketing experts took over and says, hang on, you can't change the name of the tea. Everybody's used to buying Ceylonese tea. So the name Ceylonese tea sticks. But who knows, someday we may see Sri Lankan tea. Now, according to Google Maps, I'm 40 meters away. I haven't seen a bridge, and I'm surrounded by jungle, really. So if it's actually within 40 meters, I'll be surprised. Well, according to Google Maps, I completely missed the turn. You can probably see why. Boy, talk about a complete bust. There may be a photo point there, but I couldn't find it. I was heading down a small, uneven step path, then a dirt path, down the side of the mountain. I guess it must be the same path that the tea pickers use. But eventually I just gave up. I figured this is not worth it. No matter how far I walked, I couldn't find the bridge. So I think my mistake was I'm looking for the bridge photo point, which, now that I think about it, could be something that's pretty far away from the bridge itself. So I've reprogrammed Google Maps to take me directly to the bridge, which is another 2 kilometers from here. So you might not ever get to see this video, because if I don't have some bridge in it, I'm not going to be making it. I'm developing a theory. I don't think Google knows where I am. Or else it doesn't know where the bridge is. Or both. The last instruction I got was to turn right. And there's no road there. There's not even a path. It's just jungle. This is what it looks like. Right there. Looks exactly like this. There is no way to turn right. So I'm heading back to town. There are 2 ways to get to the bridge. Apparently the one I picked is a mystery to everybody, because nobody seems to know what I'm talking about when I say bridge. Maybe this place isn't as famous as I originally thought. That could be the problem. I may have found a pathway to the actual bridge itself, and not some goofball photo point. So we'll see in a minute. I'm heading on that path now. It's called the not natural bridge. What is it? 9 Arch Bridge, Jungle Road. Well, the car park sign was a good sign. At least I think I'm heading in the right direction. And there's actually a sign here. This was something that was lacking in the other directions. There were no signs for anything. This hill is so steep that some people have to get out of the tuk-tuk rides that they're in, so the tuk-tuk can make it up the hill. Then they get back in at the top. Luckily for me, I'm walking. That's where I was just a minute ago. And here's where I'm still heading. Again, there are still people doing this with flip-flops or sandals on, and I don't know how they do it. I'm taking full advantage of the traction I get from my shoes, and still I'm worried about slipping. You know, for a railroad bridge, I thought this would be a lot more accessible, and apparently it is. The only good sign is that there are people coming up from wherever this leads. So I'm guessing that this is the right direction. But man, oh man, it is all the way down into the valley, all the way. I'm in the jungle now, even though there's still steps here. So naturally there's no breeze, nothing. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it's not the walk I mind. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. It's the not knowing. It's these ridiculous directions from Google, and then these little pathways through the jungle fork off into, you know, many different directions, and there's never a sign. So you just have to look for people returning back from the bridge to sort of get a like a breadcrumb idea of where you are. Morning.
Hello.
Theoretically, you could walk back to Ella from here on the tracks, but I'm not sure that's allowed. But I'm going to find out. Okay, over the side. Daredevils. Google Maps has given me another direction to go back. It's 1.7 kilometers. Imagine it's still some uphill climbing though, but it is a different direction than I came. We'll see how it works. Walk in the park. We're back to steps. I knew it was too good to be true. These happen to be down, but soon enough I'm sure there will be some that are up. Little snack stop back there. I notice these orange and white circles on some of the trees. I think they're meant to mark the path. I've noticed them around junctions, but not actually at junctions. So you have to look for them. Google says my hotel is only 700 meters from here. I find that hard to believe. But I'm hopeful. I think this is worse than my Adams Peak climb. There's no breeze here at all. But it is a nice walk through the jungle. Unless you start thinking about, you know, snakes falling down from the trees, Sri Lankan tigers coming out for lunch, wild dogs roaming the pathways. Other than that, it's a really nice walk. I probably look like I need help here, covered with sweat. But surprisingly, The only thing that hurts right now is my back. I'm not sure why. Well, it looks like we're out of the jungle. I think it's this way. But I'll have to check Google Maps. Looks like we're back. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. The rest of the way, I know it's about 300 meters from where I am now. So I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.